What if I told you that the biggest satisfies in tech history is happening right now, and almost no one is paying attention? OpenAI is valued at over $150 billion. Google, Microsoft, and Meta are spending hundreds of billions on AI infrastructure. And yet, a leaked internal memo from a Google engineer said something that should terrify every investor in Silicon Valley. We have no moat. Most people believe that companies like OpenAI and Google have some kind of secret sauce. Proprietary technology, unreachable advantages, a fortress that no one can breach. Here's what's actually happening. Open source models are now catching up to closed models in 2 to 3 months. Not years, months. The secrets that were supposed to protect trillion-dollar valuations are evaporating in real time. I've spent weeks analyzing what's really going on behind the headlines. The leaked memos, the cost structures, the market share data, and most importantly, who's actually winning. And the answer might surprise you. In this video, I'm going to break down the 5 forces that are about to reshape the entire AI industry. By the end, you'll understand why some of the most valuable companies in the world might be sitting on a bubble that's about to burst. Let's start with the crack that's already forming. In business, a moat is the competitive advantage that protects a company from competitors. For years, the assumption was that AI companies had the deepest moats in tech history. Massive data, proprietary training techniques, billions in compute infrastructure. Surely no one could catch up. Then a Google engineer wrote an internal memo that leaked to the public. The title was, "We have no moat, and neither does OpenAI." His argument was simple. Every breakthrough that Google or OpenAI announces gets replicated by open source communities within weeks. Not copied, replicated, sometimes improved. The gap between cutting-edge closed models and free open source alternatives has shrunk from years to months. Think about what this means. If your entire company valuation is based on having technology that others can't access, and now others can access it for free, what exactly are you selling? This isn't speculation. This week, OpenAI released GPT 5.2, and Chinese open source models like Qwen and DeepSeek are already benchmarking at nearly identical performance levels, for free. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The real question isn't how the open source world caught up so fast. It's who accidentally gave them the keys. In March 2023, something happened that changed the entire trajectory of AI development. Meta's internal AI model, Llama, was leaked online. Not released, leaked. The full model weights, the training architecture, everything, suddenly available to anyone who wanted it. Within weeks, developers around the world had downloaded it. They fine-tuned it, improved it, built entirely new models on top of it. And here's the part that matters. China didn't have to start from scratch. They took Meta's foundation, the billions of dollars in research and compute, and built their own empire on top of it. Today, Chinese AI companies control over 30% of the global market for open source models. That market share wasn't built from zero. It was built on a gift from Zuckerberg, a gift that cost Meta billions to create and cost China almost nothing to use. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but American companies still have better models, right? Here's the problem. When better costs 100 times more than good enough, most customers choose good enough. The AI industry has a pricing problem that no one wants to talk about. Closed models like GPT-4 and Claude are expensive. Every API call costs money. Every enterprise contract costs more. Open source and Chinese models, essentially free. The cost difference isn't 10% or 20%, we're talking about 90% savings. Let me give you a real example. The CEO of Airbnb publicly stated that he prefers using Qwen, a Chinese model, over ChatGPT. Why? Faster, cheaper, good enough for his use cases. Even Mira Murati, the former CTO of OpenAI, is now building her new company on open source models. The person who helped build ChatGPT isn't paying for ChatGPT. When the people who created the technology don't think it's worth the premium price, that tells you something. The value proposition is collapsing. And when the value proposition collapses, so do the valuations. But this brings us to the biggest shift of all, the one that explains why everything I've just said was inevitable. We are witnessing a fundamental shift in the artificial intelligence landscape as AI rapidly transforms into a commodity. The real value is no longer in simply generating AI, but in its application, much like electricity became valuable through its widespread use. The initial scarcity that justified massive valuations for AI companies is quickly vanishing, as powerful models become widely and cheaply available to everyone. Ironically, US hardware restrictions inadvertently push China to develop more efficient, lightweight, and accessible open-source AI models, strengthening their broad adoption. This marks the definitive end of AI monopolies, shifting power from those who own the models to those who can effectively use them. The future of AI belongs to innovators who can leverage these accessible tools most effectively and at the lowest cost. If you found this insight valuable, please like this video and subscribe for more discussions on the evolving world of technology. This is the insight that changes everything. AI is becoming a commodity, not a luxury, not a differentiator, a commodity, like electricity. Think about when electricity was first invented. The companies that generated it were worth fortunes. They had something rare, something powerful, something no one else could provide. But over time, electricity became standardized. Today, you don't care who generates your electricity. You flip a switch, the light turns on, and you pay the lowest price available. The value isn't in the electricity itself, it's in what you do with it. The same thing is happening with AI. Right now, anyone can write emails, generate code, create images, and analyze documents using models that cost almost nothing. The scarcity that justified $100 billion valuations is disappearing. The companies that are valued like they own something rare are about to discover that they own something common. And that's the bubble. When investors realize that the engine is becoming worthless and only the car matters, the repricing will be brutal. Now, there's one more piece to this puzzle: the strategic dimension that most people completely miss. The United States tried to slow down China's AI development by restricting hardware. No advanced chips, no NVIDIA GPUs, cut off the supply. The strategy made sense on paper. If you can't get the hardware, you can't train the models. But China didn't respond the way America expected. Instead of trying to compete on hardware, they flooded the world with software. Open source models, free tools, accessible technology. If they couldn't have the best chips, they would make sure that everyone else could have great models without needing the best chips. And here's the unintended consequence. The hardware restrictions forced Chinese engineers to become more efficient. They had to build models that ran on less powerful infrastructure. Meanwhile, American companies had unlimited resources and got comfortable. Now Chinese models are lighter, faster, and cheaper, and they work just as well for 90% of use cases. The restriction meant to weaken China actually made them stronger in the areas that matter most for adoption. Let's bring this together. The moat that was supposed to protect trillion-dollar valuations doesn't exist. Open source models are catching up in months, not years. Meta's leak gave China a billion-dollar head start. Cost is driving adoption toward free and cheap alternatives. And AI itself is becoming a commodity like electricity, where the value isn't in the generation, but in the application. At the start of this video, I asked what happens when the secrets that justify massive valuations become public knowledge. Now you have the answer. We're not witnessing the end of AI, we're witnessing the end of AI monopolies, the end of artificial scarcity, the end of trillion-dollar valuations built on technology that's becoming freely available. The power is shifting. From the companies that own the model to the people and businesses that know how to use the model at the lowest possible cost. The winners of the next decade won't be the ones who build the best AI. They'll be the ones who deploy AI most effectively. That's a completely different game. And it's the game that's starting right now. If this changed how you think about the AI landscape, like this video, subscribe if you want to understand where this industry is actually going, not just the headlines, and I'll see you in the next one.